One of the most thrilling ways to end a fight in the Octagon is with a flying knee knockout, the fastest knockout in UFC history. Jorge Masvidal's KO of Ben Askren serves as compelling evidence. Let's see the top flying finishes on UFC FIGHT PASS. Number 1. Norifumi Yamamoto vs. Kazuki Miata. Norifumi Kid Yamamoto is renowned for a variety of traits, including his competitive, all-around fighting style. The legendary MMA fighter from Japan is also renowned for his thrilling world record-breaking knockout victory over Kazuki Miata at Pride Heroes 5. Yamamoto not only won his 6th straight bout by knockout, but he also set a record for the quickest knockout in a major MMA organization in 2006. Number 2. Carlos Condit vs. Dong-Hin Kim. Since he has already won the title 4 times after making his UFC debut, MMA fans can always count on former UFC interim welterweight champion and WEC welterweight champion Carlos Condit to put on a fight of the night performance every time he enters the cage. However, the striking pro earned the cash for a different kind of prize. The knockout of the night against Dong-Hin Kim at UFC 132. With a stunning flying knee and a flurry of deadly hooks to his downed opponent, he emerged victorious. Number 3. Jose Aldo vs. Cub Swanson. The current UFC featherweight champion, Jose Aldo's distinct, explosive, and brutal fighting style is best seen in this matchup. At WEC 41, Aldo destroyed Cub Swanson in less than 8 seconds, securing himself a chance at winning his first world championship. And one of the most amazing flying knees in MMA history was delivered to get the job done. Number 4. Timofey Nasukin vs. Eduard Folier. Timofey Nasukin shocked the entire MMA community with this massive bone-crushing flying knee knockout, making him one of the most feared competitors in the ONE Championship. Before the referee intervened to break up the fight, Nasukin made sure he got the job done by giving Eduard Folier a crowd favorite, a football kick. It's understandable why his flying knee was named the best Asian MMA knockout of 2014 by MMA Mania. Number 5. Jeremy Stephens vs. Dennis Bermudez. The intense fight between Jeremy Stephens and Dennis Bermudez is another factor in the success of UFC 189. Each man seized control of the fight for one round at a time, pushing the other to the limit while never losing up on trying to finish the fight viciously. The bout was abruptly stopped just 32 seconds into the 3rd round as Stephens leaped up and connected a bone-crushing knee. The fact that Stephens managed to land this flying knee while traveling backwards makes it even more impressive. Number 6. Nick Pace vs. Colin Tebow. Nick Pace had just began his professional MMA career in 2009 and had already seen considerable amateur success. But in his second professional match, it took him less than 2 minutes to capture the MMA community's attention. How? With one of the sport's most artistically executed flying knees ever. Pace joined the UFC immediately after competing in the WEC against current UFC bantamweight champion Demetrius Johnson a year later. Number 7. Taiwan Claxton vs. John Wayne. The bout between Claxton and John Wayne was stopped just over a minute into the opening frame after Claxton slammed his knee into the opponent's face in the middle of the cage. Wayne's nose bridge was directly struck by Claxton's knee, and the force of the blow outlasted any subsequent ground and pound. How much air Claxton managed to get into the upward blast is even more outstanding. Number 8. BJ Penn vs. Sean Sherk. Penn competed against Sean Sherk, another former champion at UFC 84 in May 2008. At the time, Penn was facing the Muscle Shark in his maiden championship defense after defeating Joe Stevenson to capture the lightweight belt. It was a fantastic fight from the beginning to end. Although Sherk could hear the final bell, he was unable to answer the call for round 4, and Penn was able to successfully defend his title for the first time. Number 9. Thiago Alves vs. Matt Hughes. It was instant pyrotechnics when Thiago Alves faced Matt Hughes in June 2008. Alves was given the opportunity to face former UFC welterweight champion Matt Hughes despite entering the battle on a scorching 5-fight winning streak. Within 1 minute of the second round, Alves exploded a huge flying knee on Hughes. Hughes was attempting to duck under, which undoubtedly magnified the damage, which made the situation worse. The victory would later go down in history as one of Thiago Alves' most thrilling knockouts. Number 10. Martin Nguyen vs. Jadamba. Martin Nguyen, a previous two-division, one-world champion, returned to his natural weight category to defend his one featherweight world title against veteran and former champion Jadamba. This was a myth that Nguyen was eager to confront. He looked incredible as he took down Jadamba, tagging him with a variety of blows, including his renowned overhand right. Within a minute of the second round, Nguyen had Jadamba jammed against the cage wire. He then threw the flying knee, which put a stop to the battle at that point. Number 11, Spencer Fisher versus Matt Lyman, UFC 60. Let's start by going back to 2006, when Staples Center witnessed the encounter between lightweights Spencer Fisher and Matt Lyman. Fisher pounced on the moment Lyman let his guard down and delivered the flying knee, knocking Fisher out and sending him to the ground bleeding from the forehead. Number 12, Pablo Garzo versus Fredson Peixao, TUF Final. This was the first featherweight match in UFC history, and it did not disappoint, as Pablo Garza won in just 51 seconds. When Fredson Peixao attempted to take the opponent down, Garza countered with a flying knee, knocking Fredson out instantly. Number 13, Chris Beal versus Patrick Williams, UFC 172. This one was described by Joe Rogan as about as perfect a flying knee as we've ever seen in the Octagon. The two combatants traded blows throughout the second round until Beal sprung and landed the flying knee that rendered Williams unconscious before he touched the ground. Beal received a Performance of the Night bonus along with the victory. Number 14, Thomas Almeida versus Brad Pickett, UFC 189. By eliminating Pickett, Almeida earned his third bonus in a row. Pickett tried to throw his own knee just before he planted it, but he was unable to startle Almeida. A few seconds later, Almeida moved forward and leaped into the air to stop the flying knee that had knocked Pickett to the ground. Almeida's record at the time was 20-0 after this triumph. Number 15, Thiago Rivas versus Noad Lahat, UFC Fight Night. Lahat dominated the first frame, but Rivas took the victory 23 seconds into the second round. But as soon as the second round started, Rivas took control. Rivas launched himself in the direction of Lahat and delivered the decisive flying knee. Number 16, Edson Barboza versus Beneil Dariush, UFC Fight Night. One of the most spontaneous moves ever. After a strong combination from Barboza, Dariush attempted to counterpunch, but Barboza stopped him by leaping into the air and catching him with a flying knee, which immediately knocked him out. Number 17, Tai Tuivasa versus Rashad Coulter, UFC Fight Night. In his UFC heavyweight debut, Tuivasa put on a display when he connected with a big right kick that knocked Coulter to the ground and severed his legs. As soon as Coulter stood back up, Tuivasa seized the opportunity and delivered a leaping left knee that knocked Coulter out. Number 18, Michel Pereira versus Danny Roberts, UFC Fight Night. Michel Pereira, welcome to the UFC. Pereira made a statement against Danny Roberts in his UFC debut. Pereira attempted a flying knee at 1:47 into the opening round, which caused Roberts to stumble. Roberts was knocked to the ground by Pereira's subsequent strong blow, finishing the night. Number 19, Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren, UFC 239. The fastest knockout in UFC history was achieved by Masvidal when he defeated Askren in 5 seconds. As soon as the timer for the bout started, Masvidal moved quickly and threw the knee as soon as Askren changed levels for the takedown. It was a knockout that will live in infamy. Number 20, Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar, UFC Fight Night. What a crazy knockout by Sandhagen, coming only 28 seconds into the contest. Edgar tried to take down Sandhagen while ducking his head, but Sandhagen sprang into the air and caught Edgar with a flying knee to the chin. Edgar was knocked to the ground as a result, ending the fight. Sandhagen said, "I want that belt," after the knockout. So these are some of the most vicious flying knee knockouts. Which one did you like the best? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment box. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to get the latest videos. See you soon.